Hello, Babs. We're back with Dracula by Ken Platt. I believe it's chapter 8. Could be wrong. Usually am. Nah, it's chapter 7. Always one off. Chapter 7. I didn't bother waking Mr. Claude up to ask if he cut himself shaving or cracked his lip on the tough pizza. I pulled his door back to how I found it. Then I tiptoed back to my room and locked my door. I tried talking to myself about it. There had to be a lot of ways for a man to have blood on his lip without being a vampire, but the only way left bothered me. After breakfast was over and the tables cleared, I asked my aunt if I could take off for the village. No problem, she said. As long as there I am, whatever his name is, came back in time for lunch, not to forget my job as a busboy. The blacktop road to the village was about a 3-mile ride. My Uncle Bob's bike made good time. At the first gas station, I put some more air in the tires. I asked the gas pump man where the Hammond Summer Theater actors put on their shows. It was a short ride out of town. The narrow country road took me to a big red barn. There were shade trees, a few works sheds, some dusty cars, a panel truck, a couple of vans and campers. It was very peaceful. The sun was bright and warm. About a dozen people were sitting on the cropped grass or walking around in bare feet. They were reading from blue-bound papers. They had to be actors and actresses talking to themselves out loud and waving their hands. A fat, balding man was on his knees painting a sign on canvas. The Hammond Players and the Dead Tell Tales. I asked him if A.R. Claude was an actor with this company. He stopped painting, thought about it, and said he didn't think so. I asked if Mr. Claude had acted with them some other time, maybe a few years back. This is my first season here, he said. The man who would know is sitting under the shade tree. Who's he? Jack Sale. He's the director. Mr. Sale kept reading his copy of the play, making notes on the pages. Finally, he saw I wasn't going away. I asked him if he could spare a few minutes for some questions. He frowned. You want to join our company? Forget it. I hope you didn't run away from home to become an actor. I told him no. All I was here about was Mr. A.R. Claude. Had he ever acted with these Hammond Players? The director shook his head. I've been directing this acting group the past 5 years. Claude, you said? Never heard of him. A tall, thin man, I said. He looks like Dracula. He put down his script. That rings a bell, he said, but you gave me the wrong name. His name isn't Claude, it's Clyde. Andrew Clyde. Sorry, I said. I thought it was Claude. Anyway, what I wanted to know was if he was an actor. He shook his head at me. He spoke very fast. Clyde was no actor. He's a magician. I looked surprised with this summer theater group. He sighed heavily. I could tell he wanted to get back to reading his script. We did a play here a few years ago, something that called for a real-life magician. Clyde had an act. He also did hypnotism and juggling. I think he tried to be an actor once but couldn't cut it. He became an acrobat. Did circus work, trapeze and high wire act, I think. He had a bad fall and became a magician. Not a great one, but good enough for what we needed. That answer your question? I was thanking him, ready to go. The guy always had bad luck, it seems, he said. The summer he worked for us, there was another accident. His assistant, the girl he worked with, drowned up here on the lake. He couldn't work after that. We cut the play short. I never saw him again. I thanked him even more. Then I got on my Uncle Bob's bike and pedaled madly back to the hotel. And that's going to be the end of this chapter. Until next time, goodbye. Goodbye.